Hi. If you're looking for a full summary of A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle Jensen, you are in the right place. This is book number 2 in Saga of the Unfated. It follows book number 1, which is A Fate Inked in Blood. So if you're looking for everything that happened in this final installment of Saga of the Unfated, you are in the right place. If you're unwilling to read the book and you're unwilling to listen to the audiobook, then I'm going to help you out. I'm going to keep this summary as brief and concise as possible while also providing you with all of the details so you don't miss anything. This video is going to be perfect for you if you've read this book and you have questions, if you're a little bit confused. I hope to clarify for you. I hope to bring some clarity to the story, or maybe you need to read this book for book club and you're behind and you haven't had a chance to read it. Let me give you the details of everything that went down in A Curse Carved in Bone. If you're not looking for a summary, if you're just simply looking for a review of this book and you want to know my overall thoughts and opinions without any spoilers, I'm dropping a link below in the description box so you can check that out if you would like. Before we go any further, don't forget to hit subscribe. If you find yourself in need of book summaries, I have a ton of those on my channel. If you enjoy book reviews or just overall book-related discussion, this is the perfect channel for you. I love this channel. I love talking books. I love reading books, and I would love to have you along for the journey. So I hope you consider subscribing. I have a lot of really exciting books that I read recently that I am super eager to talk about. Without further ado, let's get into the full summary of A Curse Carved in Bone. A Curse Carved in Bone picks up right where A Fate Inked in Blood left us. Freya is currently on a drakkar being transported to Nordland. Freya is pissed. She is being extremely vocal and belligerent about her captivity, and it is irritating to the crew. Saga, the woman who killed Freya's mother, eventually just can't take it anymore, and she goes to attack Freya. Saga believes Freya to be an abomination with 2 goddesses' blood in her, Lene and Hel. Bjorn pulls Saga off of Freya. Bjorn holds Freya down and tells her that she needs to discover the truth. This just pisses Freya off as she sees Bjorn as a liar who she is determined to never forgive. She is incredibly hurt and heartbroken over his betrayal, but he reiterates that she doesn't know anything right now and needs to seek the truth. In a moment of nastiness, Freya throws the beautiful future that they discussed in the cave in his face. She wants to hurt him just as much as he's hurt her. Ultimately, she calms down and feels hollow after her little tantrum. She ends up picking up an oar and helping the crew row towards Nordland. Bjorn and King Harald have a conversation where Harald asks Bjorn why he deviated from the original plan. Originally, Bjorn was supposed to kill Freya. This was decided by his mother, the seer named Saga, to prevent her prophecy from coming true. Saga saw a future where Snory became king of a united Scotland by controlling the Shield Maiden. Guthrum is connected to the mind of a Merlin bird named Kaja, who has traveled far and can see that Snory knows that Freya and Bjorn live. Kaja relays the message to Guthrum, who relays the message to the rest. Though Bjorn and Freya attempted to fake their deaths, Snory knows that they both survived the fall. Harald returns Bjorn's silver armband that he kept for safekeeping while he was away in Scotland looking for the Shield Maiden. Harald asks Bjorn if he is still a Nordlander, and Bjorn confirms that he is and always will be as he slips the armband back on. Raiders, originally believed to be Scotlanders, have come to Nordland. They suspect that Snory has arrived to steal Freya already, though upon closer inspection they see that it is the Islanders who have come, not the Scotlanders. Harald prepares to go into battle. There is a child of Njord among the Islanders, and a whale was called upon to tip the drakkar over. Freya and Tora, the lightning wielder, are flung into the water. Freya uses Lene's magic to protect her and Tora, even though she contemplates leaving her to die, since Tora killed Bodil. In order to survive, Freya has to allow Tora to use her magic to kill the sea creatures, even though it devastates Freya. It is not the fault of the creatures for acting this way. They are forced to do this by the Child of Njord against their will. Bjorn spots the Child of Njord controlling the sea creatures. Bjorn feels a fury towards the man for attacking my Freya. He swims rapidly towards the shore to attack the Child of Njord. Bjorn calls upon Tyr's power and summons his axe of fire. He attacks the man and demands that he call off the sea creatures. The man does, but Bjorn still kills him anyway. Bjorn is being attacked by a lightning wielder. Before he is forced to survive an attack of lightning, Tora sends a bolt through the man as she and Freya make it to shore. Saga is severely wounded. The drakkar had fallen on her, and she has several broken ribs as well as a broken arm and can no longer properly use her bow. Saga wants to fight, but Tora convinces her to stay with Freya, who has decided not to fight. Though Freya is determined not to fight and defend the people of Nordland against the raiders, these are not her people, she cannot turn a blind eye when the islanders begin taking children in an attempt to enslave them. Freya takes action. She is determined not to use Hel's power to send the raiders to Helheim, which means no entry into Valhalla. So she attempts to use her powers as a shield maiden and her training as a warrior. While she fights well, it is not enough to save the children. The children are already loaded into the boat by the time Bjorn and Harald arrive. Harald asks Tora if she can use her powers with lightning, but she says that she cannot without risking the children. Freya hears the anguish of the families as they reach the shore, screaming for their children. Freya makes a decision and calls upon Hel's magic. She curses every warrior on the ship. Every islander is drugged down to the sea by roots and drugged to Helheim. The children remain untouched, and King Harald makes the order to retrieve the children. Bjorn uses Kaja to distract the children from all the death and destruction as they are brought back to land to be reunited with their families, if their families survived the raid. He lets the kids pet the bird. Many children are not claimed by parents as the parents perished during the islander raid. After all the children have returned from the boat, Bjorn sends the bird to comfort Freya. King Harald sends Skada to finish off the islanders who got away. Skada fights this order as she is determined to remain next to her king. Now that Bjorn has returned as the king's right hand, Skada is no longer needed as his replacement. Freya observes a mother bear and her 2 cubs on the shore. One of the cubs has a bad leg, and Freya knows that the cub will not survive. She watches the mother bear wade into the water, and the healthy cub follows her. The gimp bear cries from the shore, and right when Freya wishes him a swift death from a merciful predator, Bjorn uses a bow to shoot an arrow to kill the cub. Freya has a conversation with Guthrum, who is a child of Jord, and his current familiar is a bird named Kaja. Guthrum shares his story about how he came to serve Harald, who saved him. He shares Bjorn's story as well, and it makes Freya's heart soften for Bjorn. Both Bjorn and Guthrum were taken in by Harald so that they could be properly appreciated for being unfated. Harald has won the loyalty of many unfated, as he has saved a lot of them from tragedy. Harald and the crew make camp for the night. The king asks Steinen to sing. Steinen complies. The group goes to sleep, but Freya hears Steinen leave camp. She follows her. Freya still harbors resentment for Steinen for being a traitor. Bjorn was not aware of Steinen's allegiance to King Harald. Steinen's actions ultimately led to the death of Freya's mother. Freya plans to attack her and hurt her, though not kill her. However, when she sees Steinen fall to her knees in a burned-down town, Freya gives pause. Ultimately, she decides to leave her to grieve. Bjorn has followed Freya and grabbed her from behind and placed a hand over her mouth to keep her from shouting. They are able to share a private conversation in which Bjorn tells Freya that he wants her to learn the truth. Freya does not want to learn the truth, and she wants to remain mad at Bjorn, and she is afraid that the truth will justify his actions and will lead to her forgiving him. Bjorn also tells Freya that he does not trust the king's intentions, no matter how much he loves his father. He thinks that he is more than capable of using Freya the same way Snory wants to, though he doesn't know for sure what the king plans for Freya. The next day, Freya has a conversation with Steinen, who is aware that Freya followed her the previous night. Freya doesn't ask questions, but Steinen offers an explanation just so that Freya can understand. Steinen says that she lost both the love of her life as well as her son in a raid by Skalanders. Steinen wanted to die as she had no reason left to live. Before she could end her life, King Harald found her and gave her a reason to live and promised her justice for her family, justice against Jarl Snorri and the Skalanders. Freya and everyone else make it to King Harald's castle. Freya is surprised to see 2 wolves guarding the stronghold. Freya demands to see Bjorn's mother, Saga, immediately, but is told that it's a 2-day journey from their current location. She does not wish for Bjorn to accompany her, and she demands that Harald go with her instead. Harald says that he would love nothing more than to go see his wife, but that duty demands his presence here as he has been gone and has matters to attend to with the recent raid. Harald orders Bjorn to accompany Freya and that they need to leave first thing the following day. Bjorn argues for a moment before Harald orders him to visit his mother, who has missed him for all the time he spent in Scotland pursuing Freya. Bjorn agrees, and they are ordered to bring the 2 wolves as well. Steinen has an argument with Freya, and she encourages King Harald to just kill her in order to prevent Saga's prophecy from coming true. Saga saw that the Shield Maiden would bring catastrophic destruction and would kill thousands in her wake, and the only way to stop her was to kill her. Skada agrees and both prepare to kill Freya. Bjorn steps between her and the girls. There is about to be a battle before Harald steps in and puts a stop to the conflict. He says that if Saga is able to see a different path, one where Freya can live and not cause mass destruction, then it shall be so. But if Saga insists that the only way to prevent destruction is to kill Freya, then the king promises that it will be done. The king acknowledges Bjorn's love for Freya and says that he wants to find an alternate path so that Freya might live, but he swears to the 2 girls that he will end Freya if that is the only way to peace. Bjorn tells his father that if he plans to kill Freya, he will have to kill him first. Harold acknowledges that he understands. Bjorn has a conversation with his friend, Troell, who mentions that Harold has become so obsessed over the prophecy in Snory and Freya, and that it has impacted his relationship with Saga. Troell says that Harold hasn't seen Saga in a very long time. This furthers Bjorn's doubts about Harold's intentions with Freya. Freya and Bjorn meet with a blacksmith named Gyda, who has repaired Freya's father's sword, and she enchanted it by etching runes on it, invisible to the eye, but not the touch. When Freya asks what they mean, Gyda says it's not for her to know, but for her to improve the weapon with her magic. Gyda has also crafted a beautiful, slender, lightweight shield. With Freya's magic, to make it impenetrable, it will be an invaluable tool in combat. The shield also has etchings on it. Freya pays Gyda with the plunder from the deaths of the folks she sent to Helheim, and Gyda includes a sea axe to make an even exchange. Freya and Bjorn mount the 2 horses, and they take off with the wolves towards Saga. Along the way, Bjorn and Freya encounter a beautiful woman who is picking mushrooms. Bjorn startles her and she falls over. After helping her up, Bjorn goes to retrieve the fallen mushrooms. The woman asks Freya privately if they are lovers, and Freya says no. The woman asks inappropriate questions and is very interested in Bjorn as she finds him very attractive. Bjorn and Freya part ways with the mushroom woman and make camp for the night. Freya makes a stew. Bjorn says he's going to bathe and give Freya privacy, but Freya is concerned when Bjorn doesn't return for a long while. She goes to look for him. Freya finds Bjorn in the water staring up at a beautiful naked woman who was trying to seduce him. This is the woman they encountered from earlier. Bjorn takes a step toward the woman, but finds the strength to deny her and says that he doesn't want anyone else, only Freya. The woman morphs into a cow tree type thing, and a fight ensues. The beautiful woman, it turns out, is a Huldra, a temptress. Bjorn and Freya are able to defeat the Huldra. Bjorn and Freya make it to Saga. Bjorn's mother is absolutely stunningly beautiful. When Bjorn and Freya ask questions about the prophecy and if there is any other future that Saga has seen, she just says that the path has changed, but it all ends the same. Saga tells Freya her story and about how she bedded both Snory and Harold at the same time. Freya and Saga get drunk in the sauna, and Saga tells Freya to stop being so petulant, that she has the love of a good, handsome man, and that she needs to grow up. That day, Freya tries to seduce Bjorn, but he rejects her. Bjorn wants to earn her forgiveness first, and he doesn't want to be intimate with Freya until they resolve their issues. Saga encourages Bjorn and Freya to run away together, leave an obvious trail leading Snory away from Nordland and Scotland until he eventually abandons hope of ever finding either of them. Then they can disappear altogether. Live a beautiful life together. Freya agrees to leading Snory away. Once she loses Snory for good, she suggests that she and Bjorn go their separate ways. As Freya and Bjorn are about to depart, Saga has a vision of a war leaving thousands of Nordlanders dead in the name of the Shield Maiden. Tears run down Saga's face at the vision and of all the death and destruction. Freya decides that running will change nothing. She declares that she needs to cut Snory's thread in order to solve this for good. After analyzing the blood oath that Ylva facilitated between Snory and Freya, they discover that the blood oath specifically stated the blood of Snory, and not just Snory specifically, meaning that as Snory's biological son, Bjorn has the power to call Freya to arms. Freya suggests that Bjorn call her to arms, and she will end Snory by calling Hel's magic to send him to Helheim. Bjorn refuses to use her this way at first, but Saga attempts to convince him that this is the best path. Bjorn and Freya set off. Freya starts to wonder about her actions, about how much was influenced by her blood oath with Snory with her acting on his orders, or how much of it was her own free will. Her and Bjorn argue when Bjorn suggests that they kill Ylva in order to sever the blood oath. He even offers to do it for her. Bjorn says that he refuses to control Freya even though he has the power to. Just to demonstrate, Bjorn orders her to follow him into combat to fight against the Islanders. Before Freya can process what Bjorn is doing, she is standing with her hand on her sword. Bjorn says that he changed his mind and sits back down. He's making a point and being an ass. Freya and Bjorn journey back to Harold's castle, where Harold asks what Saga said. Freya repeats the vision, and Harold is not thrilled. Harold offers Freya the opportunity to lead the charge in the impending war. Freya is surprised by this offer and says that she was a fishmonger's wife up until recently, and that she has no experience in leadership. Freya reminisces on her old dream of becoming a warrior. Now that she's in this position, she wants nothing to do with it. She cries to Bjorn about the countless deaths that will be caused in her name before stalking away to a table where she sits next to Gyda. There's a celebration where King Harold invites his people to celebrate in his palace. It is his way to interact and understand his people. Bjorn notices Freya, who is stunning in her red dress, holding a glass of alcohol, though she is not drinking it. Steinen is about to use her gift and sing about what transpired when Freya first arrived in Nordland and how she saved the children from being taken by the islanders. Harold sneaks away during Steinen's performance. Bjorn notices and follows Harold. He finds him talking to Skada. Harold tells Skada that Freya is precious to him and that Skada is to not inflict harm on her. Skada gives him her word. He kisses her on the forehead before she strides away. Bjorn approaches Harold after Skada leaves. Harold acknowledges Bjorn's dislike for Skada, but Harold encourages him to give her a chance as she acted on his orders. At this moment, they notice that they are about to be attacked. Flaming arrows are shot through the town. The runes repel and protect until the runes have been breached. Harold attempts to repair the runes. Many homes are in flames, and Bjorn rescues a boy before attempting to help the citizens put out the fire before it can cause mass destruction. Meanwhile, Freya is still inside when news of the attack reaches her. She attempts to get citizens out and usher them towards the harbor so they can flee, but she is slowed down by a large man with a cane who walks with a limp. Freya attempts to help him escape. The man says that he needs to rest and opens a water skin. He offers it to Freya, who drinks from it only to realize, a little too late, that she tastes something in the water, and then she quickly passes out. Bjorn returns and becomes panicked when realizing that Freya has been taken, though he is unsure as to whether it was Snory or someone else who took her. Bjorn and Harold board a boat with the wolves and the Nameless, who are the thralls. They're now rowing to go look for Freya. They see a beached boat. Bjorn jumps into the water to swim towards the boat. When he overturns it, he finds Freya's sword and sea axe. Freya is woken by the specter, though she is not sure whether that was real or a dream. She finds herself in the company of 4 men, one of which was the guy who pretended to have a limp in order to fool her. The other she does not recognize, though they clearly are from Scotland, as they intend to return her to her rightful king, King Snory. Freya tries to fight. She grabs a stick and uses Lean's magic to make it strong. She fights as best as she can, but she is running out of options as they overpower her. She does not want to send them to Helheim, but she becomes quickly overpowered. Just as she is contemplating sending them to Helheim, Bjorn and the crew rescue her. Freya decides that she is done waiting. She wants to seek out Snory and send him straight to Helheim. Word has traveled that Snory has come for Freya. Bjorn, Tora, and Skada set sail to meet them in the ocean and battle overseas. Before they take off, Saga shows up and says that she is going with them. Guthrum falls over the side of the boat and allegedly dies. When the boats are close enough to make contact, Snory announces that he is there to rescue Bjorn and Freya and commands Freya to come with him and retaliate against the Nordlanders. Without choice, Freya turns on Bjorn and the others. Bjorn is left with no choice except to take command of Freya and tell her to fight all who threaten Nordlanders, which she does by cursing every Scotland warrior to Helheim. Snory asks what she has done and is confused when Bjorn accuses him of killing his mother. After the ensuing battle, the ships are wrecked, and now Snory, Saga, Tora, Bjorn, and Freya are stuck on an island. Saga draws a runic circle on the ground around Bjorn and Snory so they can duel and can't escape. Saga convinces Bjorn to end it. Snory refuses to fight his son, so he allows Bjorn to attack him. Freya, compelled by the blood oath to protect Snory, keeps telling Bjorn not to harm him, while being restrained by Tora. Eventually, she gets herself free from Tora's grip and goes inside the runic circle, magic ward, in order to protect Snory from Bjorn, which she fails at. Bjorn embeds his flaming axe into Snorri's chest and lays fatally wounded on the ground, yet still conscious. He tells Bjorn that he does not hate him or fault him, for he has been lied to by Harold. Saga begins to skip joyously and act erratically. She lets out a maniacal laugh that sounds just like Harold. Saga morphs into Harold, and we discover that Harold is the child of Loki, the trickster. The real Saga, Bjorn's mother, is actually dead, and Harold pretended to be her all these years. He takes great joy in revealing all of this to Bjorn, Freya, and the dying Snory. Harold explains how he took the form of Snory and attacked Saga, not meaning to actually kill her. He just wanted her to no longer be Snorri's lover. He did not expect her son, Bjorn, to be an Unfated. Bjorn, seeing his mother being attacked, called Tyr's name and accidentally set fire to his own home, burning his mother alive and nearly burning himself to death. Harold wanted to leave him to die, but decided to take him with him and raise him as his own and use him for his own machinations. He truly hates Bjorn since he still blames him for Saga's death. Freya quickly goes over to Snory and places her own sword in his hand and makes him clutch it, saying that although he has been an ass to her, he deserves to go to Valhalla. Harald says that both Bjorn and Freya have served their purpose, so he orders Tora to kill them both. Tora doesn't want to, but it appears that she is bound to obey by blood oath. She uses lightning to try to kill them, but Freya protects herself and Bjorn with Lene's magic. Bjorn and Freya are ultimately left to die. They are stuck on a small island surrounded by runes. They are expected to die of either cold or starvation. Freya in this moment forgives Bjorn, and they kiss, and they have sex on the island in the blistering cold. Ylva finds them shortly after in her pursuit to find Snory. Bjorn and Freya show her that Harald is the child of Loki and tricked them. Ylva decides to use Bjorn to trade for her son, Leif. Ylva and her men take Bjorn and leave Freya to die on the island. Freya is about to die but is visited by the specter, who she truly feels is Saga. Saga tells her that she is not wholly mortal and that her curse will set her free. Freya has a realization and curses herself to walk the path to Helheim. She causes roots to appear from the ground and drag down to a place between realms. Freya falls on the stone road and is met by Saga, who tells her that she is between realms. She is not to enter the golden gates to Helheim, as that is not a place for the living. When asked why Saga is there, she says that her thread is tangled with Freya's. Saga tells Freya to climb up one of the roots and it will pop her out in the real world elsewhere, hopefully not on the island. Freya ignores Saga's advice and runs towards the gates to Helheim. She demands to speak with her mother, Hel. Hel appears large and formidable, but shrinks down to Freya's size for the conversation. One side of her face is beautiful, while the other half of her face appears like a dead corpse, as Hel is half alive and half dead. Freya asks Hel to release the souls she sent here using Hel's power. Hel explains that she does not willingly go against the will of the other gods, which is why the power she gifted Freya, the root she calls on to damn the souls to Hel, do not harm the other Unfated, and don't even attempt to touch Harald, as he is the child of Loki. And Hel is Loki's biological daughter. Hel refuses those souls belonging to her. She leaves Freya. Freya runs in through the gates. As she spends time there, she is dying. Helheim is not a realm for the living, and it is killing her, so she must be quick. She goes from warrior to warrior, all who seem to be in a trance. She asks them to join her in a journey to fight against Harald and offers them a chance to earn their place in Valhalla. She can't get through to any warrior until she stumbles upon her brother, Geir. She's able to get his attention and he helps her rally the warriors. Freya realizes that Geir was on the ship of Skalanders who were with Snory in an attempt to rescue her and Bjorn. She feels incredibly guilty at having sent all the Skaland warriors, her brother included, to Helheim. Freya helps the Skaland warriors she sent to Helheim escape. While they are trying to escape, Hel notices what she's doing and goes after her, infuriated that her own daughter is stealing from her. Hel sends out a serpent to attack Freya. Freya and her brother run away. While they're running away, Freya notices that she is apparently dying and her heart stops beating for a few seconds. Yet her brother manages to get her out of the gates of Helheim in time, which gets her heart running again. The serpent goes after her and they manage to escape its grasp as they escape to the surface. As she is clawing her way up the roots and through the surface, she feels like she may suffocate in the dirt, but Saga intervenes by pulling her all the way through to the other side. Freya, her brother, and the Skalander Drogs set sail for Gindle. On the way, she rescues Grutham, who is alive, but he quickly flees before she can stop him. She plans to use Steinen to expose Harald as the child of Loki. Freya frees the wolves, Skull and Hattie, by cutting off the runes of their fur that bind them to Harald. Meanwhile, Bjorn, Ylva, and her soldiers are intercepted by Skada, who shoots Bjorn with her arrow, injuring him. Ylva tells Skada that she wishes to trade Bjorn for life, and Skada tells her that she is to bring them to Harald to talk. Bjorn, Ylva, and her soldiers are taken by wagon as guests, Bjorn being Ylva's prisoner, to speak with Harald. Shortly after they arrive in the throne room, they are joined by Harald posing as Snory, who has life with him. Harald, as Snory, says that Harald and Snory have come to a truce and stand united against the Hel child, Freya. That way, Harald can be king of Skaland and Nordland wearing two faces. Leif is mad at Bjorn and spits in his face for being a traitor. Harald, as Snory, orders Leif away while he deals with Bjorn's treason. Ylva orders her men to kill Harald, but Harald orders Skada to kill them. She kills every single one of Ylva's men. Harald, as Snory, is about to kill Bjorn, but Ylva buys him time by saying that she believes Freya is alive and escaped, and surely will come for Bjorn. She suggests using Bjorn as bait in order to capture and kill Freya. Bjorn is taken into a cell for holding while he waits execution. Freya and her undead army are about to enter Harald's castle via the drains. Freya and the Drog take refuge back in the drains. They plan to try to scale the walls in order to gain entrance into Harald's stronghold. Tora is tasked with guarding Bjorn in his cell. Tora is bound by blood oath, and she does not wish to support Harold by going against Bjorn. Tora encourages Bjorn to kill her. Bjorn considers it, but is interrupted by Steinen. Tora is now able to reveal to Bjorn how she was tricked into making a blood oath with Harold, since Harold has already revealed that she is under a blood oath. This allows Tora to speak freely on the matter. Steinen approaches Bjorn in his cell and tells him her story. Harold was the one who killed her family, wearing Snory's face. She asks for Bjorn's story so she can compose a song for everyone in Harold's party and expose the truth of who he is. Steinen comes to realize the truth in what Freya has told her. It isn't until after Freya leaves that something inside Steinen tells her that she, too, was also manipulated by Harold. It's as though singing to Bjorn of her own story that she comes to fully realize the truth of Harold's deception. It's like she always had a hunch deep down, but she never allowed herself to analyze or scrutinize, since she didn't want to relive those memories until now. The pain of losing her family made it very difficult for Steinen to see clearly through these matters. It was through singing of her past that she got to relive her painful past and truly see past Harold's deception, based on the way that fake Snory acted. Guthrum finds Freya, and while she doesn't know where his loyalty lies, she takes comfort that he is alive. Guthrum tells her what Kaja has discovered, that Harold is a child of Loki. But Guthrum still believes that he owes Harold his life and will not help her nor hinder her. A message comes to Freya's camp with the Drogs and says that if she gives herself up, she will be offered a swift execution and Bjorn will be offered exile. Freya marches towards Grindle alone, but the wolves show up. Freya asks permission to temporarily place runes on them so they can understand each other. She promises to remove them once it's all over, but she promises the wolves a chance at revenge for the length of time Harold bound them against their will. The wolves acknowledge that they can identify Harold by smell, no matter what shape he takes. Freya and her brother with the Drog army plan to fill Grindle with smoke to get everyone to flee through the gates, where the wolves will monitor and hopefully be able to identify Harold as he flees. We find out here that Harold is not the original Harold. The child of Loki consumed the real Harold. The child of Loki eats the corpses, which allows him to more closely mimic the person to become that person rather than just look like them. Harold visits Bjorn in the dungeon to gloat about his plans and to tell him that Freya has come to rescue him, and that she will fall into his trap. And he recounts his past, how he became Harold, how he tricked others, but is unaware that Steinen hides in the neighboring cell to overhear Harold in order to add to her story. Saga appears to thwart the oncoming army of the undead with Freya at the lead. Freya catches Saga's arrow with her lean, wrapped hand and traps the arrow by not letting it go. Now, Saga cannot recall the arrow. Just as Freya and the Drogs launch their smoke bombs into Grindle, Guthrum yells to Freya that Steinen is singing and has everyone in thrall. Everyone is standing still, completely paralyzed, and Grindle is filling with smoke and about to burn the homes and people within Grindle. The Drogs scale the walls and open the gate so that Freya can enter. She is desperately looking for Bjorn. Steinen finishes her song, and once the thrall ends, chaos ensues once everyone realizes that they need to flee the fires. Freya finds Bjorn still imprisoned by the gauntlets. She releases him and kisses him. Though he is injured, she helps him make it through to the drains. Though the swift current sweeps Bjorn away, Freya jumps in after him and wraps them both in magic before they tumble over the falls. Once they make it to shore, Freya notices something off about Bjorn. He speaks to her with a harsh tone she's never heard him use with her before, and hears him complain about how cold the water is, something that Bjorn has never done since he can't really get cold due to Tyr's blood always keeping his body temperature very hot. Freya, noticing this, tells Bjorn to light a fire quickly with his axe, to which Bjorn responds by smiling cruelly and praising her for being clever. He then morphs into the form of Harold. We find out how the real Bjorn escaped his shackles. His brother Leif comes over to him after Steinen's song is over, amidst the chaos of Unfated looking for Harold, and the rest of the people worried about the fire and smoke surrounding them. Leif asks Bjorn if he killed their father, to which Bjorn admits to. Leif says he wants to hate him for killing their father, wants to hate him for being tricked by Harold after all these years. Though, he has a difficult time hating him for understanding exactly how he was fooled. Bjorn pursues Tora, who is helping a man in a cloak escape, whom he believes to be Harold. Bjorn throws his fire axe at the man, only to find that it was one of Harold's thralls, one of his slaves, under his command. He realizes that this was a trap and he is shot in the shoulder by Saga, who was waiting for him in ambush. Tora looks miserable since she has been forced to do this. Bjorn asks Saga why she's so loyal to Harold. Saga believes that she is Harold's true daughter, though Gyda says that this is also a deception as she knew Harold before he got eaten by the child of Loki, and Skada's mother was pregnant before the real Harold abandoned her. Saga is in denial and does not believe that she has been deceived. Skada is about to kill Gaida, but Geir attacks and kills Skada by breaking her neck. He declares, "For my mother." Harold moves to kill Freya by morphing into a huge, monstrous version of the wolf, Hattie. Right before the wolf Harold moves in, Bjorn throws a flaming axe at him, which hits him and causes him to run off. Bjorn was able to find Freya with Katja's help. They pursue Harold's trail of blood, which they come to realize that Harold is purposefully leaving as a trail for them. As they realize that Bjorn's fire axe leaves little blood behind, and not for long, as the fire quickly cauterizes the wound of its victims. Harold ambushes them in the dark in the shape of a giant cat, but he is unsuccessful in killing them, though he manages to wound them. Harold keeps attacking and running away. Bjorn and Freya keep pursuing, and eventually Bjorn falls into a trap laid by Harold, a pit that has been dug into the ground. With Bjorn out of the way, Harold now focuses on attacking Freya. He eventually shapeshifts into a tentacle monster with venomous talons at the end of his tentacles, with which he manages to hit Freya's thigh with. Bjorn manages to climb out of the pit and throws his axe to help Freya, cutting off some of Harold's tentacles in the process. As they are in a losing battle, Freya decides to jump on Harold's back and curses herself to Helheim, where she drags him down with her. As they descend, Freya grabs hold of a root and lets go of Harold, so he falls and gets gravely injured. Harold takes his original form back, most of his hand is missing and badly wounded by Bjorn, and runs off to the gates of Helheim to go ask Hel for help, as they are both children of Loki. Freya goes after him, also badly injured, especially due to the venom in her veins. Hel appears, and Harold asks for her help. Hel, not answering his pleas for help, looks at Freya and accuses her of stealing from her. Hel tells Freya that she owes her a debt. She owes Hel her soul. Freya bargains that she will give her her soul as long as Hel doesn't help Harold, to which Hel replies that she is in no position to bargain and that her mortal life is fading and she will soon belong to Hel anyway. Lene appears and confronts Hel and converses with Freya. All of a sudden, the ground shakes and all the gods appear, as they want to witness how this will unfold. Hel is visibly irritated and reaches down to touch Harold, which heals him instantly. Harold tells Freya that she has lost. He turns away and leaves them while laughing. Freya looks to Tyr and asks if he can lend her his flame. Tyr smiles, and Bjorn's fire-wrapped axe appears in her shield-covered hand. She throws it at Harold, and it splits his skull open. Harold turns and mocks Freya, thinking that she missed, only to realize that his mortal body is on the floor, head sliced off. Saga appears and pushes the soul of Harold and herself through the gates of Helheim and tells Freya to tell Bjorn that she loves him. The Allfather, Odin, appears belatedly and offers Freya a place in Valhalla, but Freya declines, saying, "Not yet." Freya makes it back to the base of the World Tree, but she is dying due to the venom in her body. In these final moments, Hel gives Freya cryptic advice. Hel decides to help her because if she can't have her soul, she doesn't want Odin to have it either. Freya figures out the riddle, and Freya uses the soul in Helheim to find Liv in order to help heal her. Liv tells her that if she can fight her way free of this place, the venom will be left behind. Freya climbs, but her strength is failing her. She makes it almost all the way to the surface and calls out to Bjorn. Bjorn, meanwhile, is looking for Freya, digging into the earth until his fingers are bloody. He is approached by Geir, Tora, Guthrum, and Volund. He notices his axe disappear momentarily, but he doesn't care. Bjorn hears Freya call out to him. Bjorn and the others start digging until they're able to dig her out of the earth. Freya emerges, barely alive, but alive. After she recovers, Freya releases the souls of her undead army, confident that they will be sent to Valhalla. Steinen apologizes to Freya for everything. She says that she doesn't ask forgiveness as she doesn't deserve it, but she will accept her punishment. Freya says that her punishment is to create a ballad of everything that has transpired so that the people know the truth, and that she has to sing it all over Scotland and Nordland and include her own story in it. Steinen agrees and says that she will call it Saga of the Unfated. Freya breaks up the recently united Scotland. She wants to revert rule back to the clans to be broken up and ruled by the Jarls. The Jarls were half expecting her to crown herself as queen of all of Scotland, which she rejects. Freya's blood oath has dissolved. Ylva explains that death will break the oath, though Freya didn't realize that she had been set free because she died temporarily when Geir carried her out of Helheim the first time she traveled there. She has been set free all this time, but didn't realize it. Bjorn rides off with Freya and takes her to Saga's burned-down cabin where he suggests that they build a home together. Bjorn takes Freya into the cave with the hot springs and asks Freya to marry him. She says yes. 1 year later, Freya and Bjorn rebuild Saga's home, and both of them have sworn loyalty to life as their Jarl, and they have not fought since the Herald incident. Freya and Bjorn are madly in love, living a quiet, peaceful life, maintaining a farm. Ingrid comes to visit with her baby boy, Eric. We see that Ingrid has taken a new lover, Tarek, who Freya acknowledges as a good man and believes that Geir would approve of. Ingrid asks Freya if she is content, and Freya feels defensive at first, telling Ingrid that both her and Bjorn fought for this peaceful life. Though Ingrid is not convinced, she can see that the absence of fighting is wearing on both of them. A messenger arrives to say that there is a raid, and Jarl Life has called all warriors to arms. Freya and Bjorn resist at first, but end up gearing up and deciding that they're going to scope it out. They haven't committed to fighting yet. They're both trying to hide the fact that they can't wait to go into combat again, but neither wants the other one to know. Ingrid offers to manage the farm in their short absence and keeps encouraging them to go. Freya and Bjorn make a pretense of only going temporarily. 2 weeks away, max. Freya suggests that they take enough supplies for their short stay, but after they leave, Bjorn comments on how they didn't take anything with them except their weapons and armor. Bjorn and Freya set off, armed and ready to defend their home against raiders. In this moment, they feel the thrill of defending their home, and they both admit that they were born for this and that this is their destiny. There you have it. That is a full summary of A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle Jensen. I hope that you found it helpful. I apologize for any mispronunciations that I may have had in this video because these names are very difficult for me. I did the best I could. There is a pronunciation guide on Danielle Jensen's website. I highly recommend you check it out in case you're worried that you're butchering the names. I hope I didn't butcher them too terribly, but I know that I had some flubs, that's for sure. If you read these books, please leave me a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. I hope you love these books as much as I did. Again, if you're looking for a spoiler-free review, I'm going to drop the link below in the description box so you can hear my overall thoughts and opinions of this book. But if you've stuck with me thus far, I really appreciate your support. Thanks for hanging in there. Don't forget to hit subscribe. If you enjoy book-related summaries, if you find them helpful, this is going to be the perfect place for you. If you enjoy reviews, I got you covered. I've read a lot of really, really good books recently that I'm very, very excited to talk about. So I hope that you stick around, and I hope to catch you in another video. I hope that you're reading something great. I hope that your year is full of nothing but 5-star reads. So thanks for sticking around. Enjoy your reading, and I will catch you on the flip side.